Hi. Hi again. Let's do a little bit of review. First off, Scott Miner did not found Realm Makers. Second off, we have evidence here, which I'll show. And what it depicts is a conversation. Scott Miner says, I called and waited on hold for 45 minutes to discover they had no record of that case number. 0136454-1 and nothing under the name Solomon. And that is a lie because I was on the phone. I confirmed independently that the National Human Trafficking Hotline does have record of that case for David Solomon. And that case number is number 0136454-1. So for somebody to say it's a lie, they're actually the ones lying because they didn't call, and that's a lie. So we want to talk about how Realm Makers and Scott Miner are connected to Mr. Brian Davis. And so there's lots of talk and lots of speculation out there on Scott Miner's behalf saying, "Oh, I don't know Brian Davis," and yeah, I don't know him. Well, evidence number one. Here's a short conversation, but here's a conversation nonetheless with Mr. Brian Davis and Scott Miner. Okay, don't believe that. Well, we have a nice, beautiful picture here. Mr. Scott Miner all the way to the left and Mr. Brian Davis in the middle. And it was posted, as you can see at the bottom, by Realm Makers Bookstore. Okay, still don't believe Realm Makers and Scott Miner are connected with Brian Davis and vice versa. We have a nice post here from Realm Makers account on June 13th, 2020. And it states, teens, we still have a program for you at hashtag Realmmakers2020. While our original teen track instructor had to bow out for personal reasons, wonder why, we are excited to welcome back best-selling author Brian Davis. So this wasn't the first time. They had him before, because when you say welcome back, that means that this happened before. But as we continue, he'll be showing teens how to really dig into their manuscript and bring it up to par in the editing stage. Teens interested in publishing will not want to miss this opportunity. So mention how teens is mentioned. Interesting. If you haven't reserved your spot in our unique virtual conference experience, register today. And there's a link. And so you might say, oh, those are just words. So that's at the top that I just read. And you can see a nice, beautiful picture here at the bottom. It says hashtag Realmmakers2020 Teen Track. And that nice, beautiful photo, Brian Davis, who is not connected to Realm Makers and vice versa, right? Okay, that's false. That is a lie. It says Brian Davis, the Phoenix Solution, self-editing to resurrect your manuscript from the ashes. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that looks like proof and evidence to me. So even you YouTube out there that want to take a video down when there is actual proof, and we're talking to minors, not Scott Miner, he is talking to Scott Miner, but he's also talking to minor kids. Okay, so this is a profile of Nick Battaglia. And so this is a minor, okay? On the Bolivar Church of God website or post, there's a picture of Mr. Brian Davis with Mr. Nick Battaglia, a minor. You might say, oh, well, that's just a picture. We take pictures of a lot of people. Well, and then as we continue, there is some conversation between Mr. Battaglia and Mr. Brian Davis. So that looks like proof to me. That looks like evidence. What do you think? Do you think that's evidence? Do you think that shows, number one, the connection from Brian Davis to Scott Minor, got the photo. Brian Davis to Railmakers, Scott Minor runs, which he did not found, which ChatGPT so helpfully helped us confirm that was false, that Scott Minor did not found Railmakers. And Mr. Brian Davis, oh, I don't know anything about Railmakers. Well, you're connected, just as we found that you're connected to that former church mega pastor outside Dallas, Texas, that you were speaking there when Mr. David Solomon came with a Dallas police officer and wanted to just chat because he was on his deathbed and wanted to just have a quick conversation. So you were there. And I believe there's also another pastor in Arkansas that Mr. Brian Davis is close to as well. And so, right, one of these things by themselves could just be a fluke, but we have proof. We have real evidence that this is occurring. We have real evidence that conventions and other events with Railmakers are being rescheduled and canceled, and all these leadership shakeups. And so that wouldn't be occurring unless there was some activity going on that was not on the up and up. And if you checked out one of our prior TikToks, we have the voice of Mr. Scott Minor admitting that he knows full well that Mr. Brian Davis takes around 15 hours a week of his time to talk to minors about porn and cutting. So parents, maybe this is the first time you're hearing about this and you're seeing it. Do you want to have your children, do you want to spend thousands of dollars to be around individuals like this? And so when we don't talk lightly when we talk about how this ring is closely relatable to the Diddy and Epstein cases. Not to mention, David Solomon has police report after police report that he was trafficked by Mr. Brian Davis. And if you check out ChatGPT, Mr. David Solomon isn't the only one who has come out and said that he was trafficked by Mr. Brian Davis. There's others. So, again, we're talking facts, and you make the decision. So, as we close out, if you or somebody you know has been affected by human trafficking, you can reach out to the National Human Trafficking Hotline.org. You can give them a call, 1-888-373-7888, TTY 711, text 233-733. And until next time, we'll see you when we see you.